Hey everybody, welcome to Ocala Garage. My name is Thomas, and this is part something or another of the Daytona Coupe Build. So welcome. I think it's like 27, 28, I don't know. I could look back, but it's been a while since I've been in the garage. Well, since I've filmed being in the garage. So I thought I'd just take you guys through a quick update. It's kind of, I'm in the kind of sort of boring, slow-moving section. Boring as far as video goes. I've started running the wiring. This is the part that intimidates me the most, but I'm doing this kind of little chunks by little chunks, and it's becoming less intimidating as I go. So let me swing you guys around and show you where I am and try to get you caught up on what I've done. Alright, so I think the last video was installing the e-brake handle and adjusting it. That was like 2 videos to get that done. It's really kind of a fairly straightforward thing, but just ended up being 2 videos. So I pulled out, let's see, quick updates. I put the header on this side. I haven't installed the header on the other side yet. I've gone ahead and run some hoses, kind of temporary hoses. This isn't going to be my permanent setup, but I just want to get brakes bled, clutch bled, get some things kind of ready so we can sort of do a, once we get this thing started, hopefully not too far down, we can actually do our first go-kart with this. But eventually I'm going to change out these hoses. But I've got my front, rear, and clutch master cylinders mounted, hoses run, etc. I also mounted, finished up some brake line work, or fuel line work, sorry, and put in the fuel pressure regulator. Hopefully I have that right. We'll see how that goes. I'm trying out, okay, so for the wiring harness, got the main wiring harness. The book is the regular Cobra, the Roadster. So the pictures are a little different, but they suggest putting the fuse panel in the driver's side footwell up against some tube. And so I've got it here, kind of on angle. I think it's gonna, be out of the way of my feet and be tucked up out of the way. The one thing I don't like about this location is, since I'm running a hydraulic clutch, the master cylinder here kind of goes over the fuse panel. So I'm not certain I like that very much, but that's the way it is for now. If I need to relocate the fuse panel, then I relocate it and we figure something else out. Yeah, so maybe, I don't know, we'll figure that out. So then I've got the front wiring harness plugged into the main harness, and that comes up and it's just kind of dangled here and over there and just sort of gently run. Nothing's attached. Got the engine bay wiring harness coming through, and I've got the, couple holes that were already in this panel. I think I had to add 1 or 2. I think 1 hole I added in the middle. But I've got the wiring harness that goes down through the tunnel to the rear. That comes over here. And then let me move this out of the way. And then I've got my, some of it plugged in. And then just the taillights are just kind of sitting where they're going to be. So I've just kind of got stuff sitting. I've mounted my gauges, but I haven't done any wiring with the gauges yet. So we're going to get to that down the road. I've gone ahead and plugged in the ever so important headlight switch and the really important ignition switch. So that's wired in. I've got the inertia switch just kind of plugged in. I got to figure out where I'm going to mount that. It might go here, I think. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to put it, but I think it'll go here. Oops, yeah, on this tube that comes out. But I've got brake lines kind of run this way. We've got the steering column here, so it needs to be out of everything's way. So there's that. We'll come around to this side. I've got a battery in. I've got the negative, ground ready to go. Right now I've got the positive just connected straight. Well, it's not connected yet. but it'll be directly connected to the solenoid on the starter. Then these get plugged into the starter. All three of these go into the same post as the battery on the starter, and then this goes in to a spot that has like a flat clip, and this hole is too small to fit over the solenoid. I don't know if you can really see down there. So I'm going to cut that off and put a flat, little clip on there. I've also got the EFI from my Holly Sniper EFI. That harness just plugged in and the wire's sort of dangling everywhere. These dudes here, what is this, a relay I think, then like a fuse or something. Not entirely sure what these are actually, but probably going to mount them on this panel here and then run the wires down. So that's kind of where it is, but I've been like slowly just reading the wires and looking at where everything's laid out. And then also, got my horns, I'm going to mount those soon. Also, really what's important is the schematics. Now this manual is decent, but one of the challenges with, the wiring harness, there's basics, but everybody chooses, kind of a different engine package, a different, is it carbureted, is it EFI? If you get the Coyote engine, that's got a whole big brain thing on it. So the wiring is, very customized to the car, and I've just never done wired a car. So, a lot of it's basic, but it just, when it comes time to, it's like, fan thermostat switch, electric choke, do I even need this? These have something written on them, but do I need all those wires? Which I know I'm going to have wires I don't need. There's people that are just, more educated on this stuff than I am, because I'm just completely not educated. So I'm doing the best I can, checking forums, and trying to do this nice and slow. If you guys have any links to some good information, I would be more than thankful if you posted them in the comments below. One thing I haven't decided what I'm going to do with yet, let me move you around here. This whole thing is just for the hot rod only. So do I just clip these wires and terminate them? I'm going to leave that little pigtail dangling for now. But yeah, I might just cut all those wires off, because if it's hot rod only, it's hot rod only. I don't need it, right? So, and then I don't have attached. This harness is kind of the dash harness. So, all your switches and speedometer, gauges, all that stuff are in here. And that just plugs in, to these three here. I just kind of took it out to keep things a little bit simple to start with. And then we'll get that stuff hooked up as the time nears. I think the next thing I'm going to do, though, is I went ahead and bought some brake fluid. So I'm going to get my reservoirs filled up, get the lines flushed, and bleed my brakes and bleed my clutch, just because that's something that's easy, busy work. That I will not film. There's probably 10,000 videos on bleeding brakes and bleeding a clutch, so I'll just leave that to you guys to figure out. An O2 sensor that gets plugged in somewhere over there. Obviously this is not the way it's going to be run. So there you go, that's where I'm at. Just thought I'd give you guys a quick update on where I am. I know I've been absent from YouTube for, I don't know, like a month or so. Obviously, if you've been watching my videos, you see that the last one was posted. I'm selling my 72 240Z. Part of why I've been absent is we've decided to move to another state. So that's going to complicate my life a little bit with building this car. I told my wife, I want to get this car drivable. I would love to have it actually done enough where I can get it registered and titled before we move. So we'll see how that goes. That might mean I start speeding up what I'm doing on here and do fewer videos. For that, I apologize, because I've been doing these videos partially for your benefit, but also for my benefit. but there's just not a ton of videos on building these cars, especially like step by step like I've been doing. But understand that a half an hour, well, a 15-minute video that you guys watch took me an hour to video, 2 hours to do all the work, and then another hour or so to edit. And I'm just running on limited time at this point, so I'll try to get out as many videos as I can for you guys, because I'd still like to document this build, and I love your feedback. You guys are always helpful with, helping me figure out what I did that I could have done better or did wrong. So I really appreciate that. But anyway, I think I'm going to wrap this video up. I know this wasn't a how-to or a what I'm doing, just a what I did. And we're going to get a little bit more of those with the wiring. If I come across something that I think is super important or super interesting, I'll grab the camera and I'll talk about it. But for the most part, I'm just going to follow the schematics, do some forum searches and questions and stuff online, and just muddle my way through this wiring. It is the end of June, I don't know what day, 22nd-ish, 3rd, 4th, I don't know. I'm hoping still that I'll be able to do a first start on this car by September. And then hopefully we'll get it driving soon after that. And then I can kind of get a lot of stuff buttoned up. I know there's a ton of details, but I'd like to get it done enough where I can get it titled and registered. Because we're hoping to move sometime late spring of next year. So we'll see. And if I don't get it to that point, then we figure out what I can do in whatever state we move to, which I'll probably tell you guys at some point in the future. But for right now, just know I'm leaving Virginia in about a year. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hit me up with comments. If you like my videos, please subscribe. Hit the little like button and the alarm bell so you know when I post a new one. And if you don't like my videos, tell me what I can do better, what you'd like to see. And, if I can do it and if I'm interested in it, I'll do it. What the hell. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you next time.